Morning, geographers. I hope you all had a relaxing weekend. Thank you to everybody who took the time to submit their end of topic test by Sunday at 8 o'clock. We are going to mark those as quickly as possible. When we have returned your scores to you, please have a look through, see where your marks were, and I will be posting some model answers to each question later in the week. Now, we're doing things a little bit differently this week, so we're going to give you until Wednesday to do your geography work. So it's the instructions that I'm about to talk you through, and then we'll be posting the test on Wednesday. That will give you some time to work through the core of the work. Think of it like the classwork, and then to do the little quiz at the end once you've had a chance to do that. So you don't feel like you have to rush through all of it. You can take your time making sure you've got a good understanding of the work you're doing, and then you can show us what you know by completing the quiz. So we're moving on to a new topic today. So we're going from the main page that you can see here into files. Okay, now remember, everything is always posted in class materials. And this will be the instructions shortly. In fact, let's change that. So the instructions are now at the very top of the screen. So these are the instructions. We click on them and we've got them all here. So we're moving on now to study Nigeria and Nigeria's economic development. We've been looking at development quite broadly. We've been looking at a few examples of ways that we can reduce the development gap. Now we're going to be looking really specifically at Nigeria, which is a newly emerging economy. So I've got listed here exactly what we'll be looking at in Nigeria, and it'll just be following the chapter of the textbook. So this week, we're making sure that everybody has a really broad and really solid background knowledge of what Nigeria is like, where it is. So the first thing I want you to do is to watch this video. Got one here. It just talks to you really briefly about like the physical geography of Nigeria. So it's really useful for helping to give your understanding some context. And then you need to download the next chapter of the textbook from files. So we're moving on from the textbook chapter that you've been using. So if we close out of that, the textbook is the first thing that comes up when we go into files. Click on it. And then I've pinned that to the top as well. So you're not picking up the development textbook anymore. We're looking at the Nigeria textbook, and it's blue and it looks like this. So you are going to read pages 218, so that's these two, to 223, so that's these two, and that's these two. Now I know that it looks like a lot because we usually only read 2 pages, but all of the information on here really neatly locks into the other. So this first two, and you see there's lots of pictures. So these first 2 pages talk about the global and regional importance of Nigeria. So Nigeria's impact on the world and Nigeria's importance in Africa. And then these next 2 start to tell you what Nigeria is like. And I understand that some of you will already have a really good understanding of what Nigeria is like, so this will make a lot of sense to you. And for other people, this is a really great opportunity to learn about the different kind of social and cultural factors that help to shape Nigeria. So that's what we're looking at here, the political context. And some of this, if you think about about what we've been learning with uneven development, will start to really slot into place when you read through this. And then finally, we're looking at how Nigeria's political links have changed. So we've started looking at the political links here. We're looking at how they've changed. And then going back to Nigeria's global importance by looking at their trading relationships. And if you look at the physical geography of Nigeria, and we look at what we know about trading and trade routes, then this will start to make a lot more sense as well. So we're going to read these 6 pages, but as I said, it all slots into each other and there's lots of pictures, so it's not as text heavy as we might initially think. And then you're going to answer some questions. So work your way through these. If there's anything that you don't quite understand, I've created a questions and support channel. So along the left-hand side, there's the general post, which is where we post everything, but there's also questions and support. So you can just type something in here, and then I'll be able to get back to you. Otherwise, you can always email me. If you post it in the questions and support channel, though, it does mean that other people might have that question and then they can come here and that they can check that whether it's already been asked. So you're going to just work through these questions, and then I want you to create a table with 2 columns, national importance and global importance, and you're going to just sort these 5 boxes under those 2 columns. So by the end of it, you'll have a list of which of these 10 boxes talk about Nigeria's global importance, and which of these 10 boxes talk about Nigeria's regional importance. Once you've done that, you're going to do a very similar thing, but we've got here 11 boxes, and you're going to divide them into political, social, economic, or environmental. So this time you'll have 4 columns or headings, however you choose to lay it out. And then you're going to categorize each of these boxes for whether they are political, social, economic, or environmental. And the last 2 things I want you to do are, ahead of the 2015 election, BBC mapped Nigeria to show a number of different divisions within the country. And there are lots of really interesting maps here. So we firstly got a map of Nigeria in which political party controls each state, which is important if we think about Nigeria's political history as well. So looking at now how the country is broken up and controlled by each party. Got breakdown of ethnic diversity, oil. Again, once you've read the work for this week, this will all make so much more sense. Once you understand kind of, the social, economic and political history in particular of Nigeria. We've also got poverty, so we start thinking about how that's measured, how we know that these areas live in poverty, what measures of development we might use there. Health, again, this talks about children who have received basic vaccinations. Link it back to what we know about malaria, and why malaria is more prevalent in Africa than it is in South America, despite them having a similar climate. And think about what we know about the healthcare in Africa, literacy, and then we're starting to look at kind of terrorist activity and safety as well. So I think we can link that one back to quality of life, can't we? Because that's about kind of personal freedom and safety. So these maps do break down and represent different development indicators that we've been looking at for the past 10 or so weeks. So all I want you to do is have a look at those maps and just read the article, read the information. Were you shocked by the distribution of, say, literacy? Did you think that there would be more or less? And then just note down 5 things that you've learned from reading that. And then finally, before we do the quiz this week, the BBC asked Lagos residents what the best thing in Nigeria is. And often, because of its political history and because of Boko Haram, Nigeria has quite a bad reputation, or it gets quite badly portrayed in the media. So I wanted us to end on a really happy note this week, to really round out really flesh out our understanding of what Nigeria is like. So why, what people who live there really love about it. So some of them are videos, and some of them aren't. So if they don't have the little play button on the side, then they've just got a little caption about their views. Finally, you'll be completing the quiz, and the quiz will be posted on Wednesday. So that gives you a couple of days to really focus on getting through all of this work, and then doing the quiz. As I said, for the end of topic test, I will be posting some model answers so you can compare yours against theirs. If you are unsure about any of the marks that I've given you, please send me an email about it. And otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic week.